15 strange laws and customs in New Zealand. Building fences out of underwear, an obsession with giants, and naming things up to 58 characters long. These crazy things exist nowhere else in the world but in New Zealand. We often hear about the breathtaking beauty that nature has bestowed upon this land, but that's not all. The regulations, customs, and unique aspects of life in New Zealand also make this nation incredibly special in the eyes of the outside world. And in this video, we'll explore 15 prohibitions and peculiarities that only exist in New Zealand. Let's brace yourself, as this video contains quite a few shocking details. Number 15. Don't show up empty-handed to a gathering or party. Even if you're a foreigner just stepping foot in New Zealand, whenever invited to any gathering, never show up empty-handed. You should bring food or wine to share. It's an essential part of the hospitality culture in this country. Even if there are no specific requests to bring something, bringing a small gift is still an expression of respect and appreciation for the host. This not only helps create a comfortable and welcoming atmosphere, but also shows your gratitude for the invitation and the host's care. However, if the host requests not to bring anything, you should respect that request and refrain from bringing a gift. In this case, understanding and adhering to the host's rules and requests are crucial for maintaining a good relationship. Number 14. Greeting by pressing noses. Apart from bringing gifts, be prepared to press noses with the host and others present, as New Zealanders in general, and Maori people in particular, often greet each other in this peculiar way. Instead of handshakes or hugs, Maori people always take quite a long time to get acquainted with guests. The somewhat intimidating and meticulously probing gestures of Maori people can confuse visitors. However, once you're their guest, everyone is warmly welcomed, entertained with lively songs, dances, and delicious food. Firstly, when entering a Maori village or house, you'll encounter a warrior standing right in front, eagerly brandishing a spear or staff and performing martial arts moves. They point the sharp tips at you, executing defensive maneuvers, attacks, and shouting loudly as if calling the whole village, which can make you feel uneasy. Then they place a fern branch on the ground and point the spear at it, signaling for you to pick it up from a very close distance. Of course, you'll have to choose between two options: picking up the branch and handing it to them, or fleeing. If you pick it up with a friendly attitude, you'll be invited inside and immediately welcomed by dancing women. But if you follow them with rude, arrogant gestures, according to ancient customs, the consequences are dire, because you'll be tied up, escorted into the village. After enjoying the festive dance and songs, the host will formally greet you. Maori people have a common guest greeting style called hongi, where both faces press against each other, foreheads touching and noses rubbing. It's called the nose-pressing greeting and is gender neutral. Regardless of age, wealth, everyone rubs noses. Even politicians, no matter how reluctant, must perform the hongi, as Maori people don't shake hands or kiss cheeks. So if you visit these people's homes, be prepared to press noses. Number 13. Avoid comparisons with Australia. Alright, you may have visited Australia and formed a favorable impression of the country, but when in New Zealand, never mention Australia in front of the locals. They will give you hostile looks if they overhear it. New Zealanders and Australians often don't view each other positively on many fronts. The relationship between New Zealand and Australia is quite complex and often not seen as entirely friendly in all aspects. Although these two countries share many similarities, there are also clear differences, both culturally, historically, and politically. In communicating with New Zealanders and Australians, it's important to avoid direct comparisons between the two countries and refrain from stating that New Zealand and Australia are one nation. This is crucial to avoid eliciting negative reactions or alienating the listeners. So absolutely refrain from joking, comparing these two countries in any form, and never say New Zealand and Australia are one nation. Number 12. Prohibition on criticizing Maori culture. When in New Zealand, the first thing you must always remember is never to speak ill of Maori culture. In case you didn't know, Maori people are the indigenous people of New Zealand, and their culture shapes the country in many ways. They arrived here over 1,000 years ago from their mythical homeland of Hawaii in Polynesia. Today, for every 7 New Zealanders, there is 1 Maori person. Maori people have created a beautiful language, remarkable myths, arts, and many distinctive aspects of their culture. Their myths are passed down orally through generations, telling of their creativity in discovering new lands. Even if you only skim through these facts, it will help you understand and respect Maori customs as well as interact with Maori culture. One of the best ways to start doing this is to avoid criticism. This is because complaining or criticizing is seen as a form of religious discrimination from the perspective of the New Zealand people. Number 11. The world's thinnest population. If you venture away from the cities in New Zealand, you might feel extremely lonely because the roads are always deserted. The reason for this is that New Zealand is one of the world's thinnest populated countries with a total population of over 4.7 million people. This is equivalent to only 17.5 people per square kilometre. The remote geography of the island's rugged terrain has deterred many from settling in this country. The low population density creates a comfortable living environment with less pollution for residents, as well as providing many opportunities for exploring and enjoying nature. With to the advantage of a low population, New Zealand is the habitat for many animal species, including many unique species named after fruits. Number 10. Underwear fence. If you find the Kiwi species not bizarre enough, then head to Otago where you'll see one of New Zealand's strangest things, that's the underwear fence. The world's one-of-a-kind fence is called the Cardrona bra fence, located in the central Otago region. Women's bras have been hung on the fence since the 1990s, but no one knows the exact origin of it. Whether true or not, there's an interesting story circulating that during the Christmas and New Year celebration in 1999, 4 unidentified women partied at the Cardrona Hotel and left the nightclub intoxicated. On a whim, all 4 decided to take off their bras and hang them on the fence as a New Year's greeting. In the following years, the number of bras increased. However, not everyone is pleased with this sight. Some find it overly tacky, sometimes obscene, and are concerned it could pose a threat to drivers passing by. Because of this, the bras have been removed from the fence several times. However, somehow after each cleaning, more bras appear. In 2006, local authorities intervened, deciding to remove over 1,500 bras from the fence. But shortly after, new bras boldly appeared again. Finally, people decided to keep the scene intact. According to the locals, since the fence has been here, their livelihoods have become easier, and tourism in this remote area has begun to develop. At its peak, the fence once broke records by collecting over 100,000 bras. Number 9. Obsession with big things. It may sound crude, but towns in New Zealand genuinely want to showcase their presence by displaying large sculptures to let people know what they're famous for. There's a giant kiwi fruit in Te Puke, a giant kiwi bird in Otorohanga, a giant soft drink bottle in Peroa, and even a giant donut in Springfield. There are so many of these large sculptures that we've compiled a whole list dedicated to them. These large sculptures are not only local landmarks but also part of New Zealand's tourism culture. They create unique focal points and attract the attention of visitors from all over the world. Having a dedicated list for these large sculptures is an interesting way to promote New Zealand's culture and tourism. Each sculpture carries a special significance and tells a unique story about the land and the local community. This also creates an engaging tourist experience as they can wander around and explore these unique pieces of art. In summary, displaying these large sculptures is an important part of New Zealand's culture and tourism, helping towns and local areas showcase individuality and attract tourist attention. Number 8. No eating before being blessed. If you think just not speaking ill of Maori culture will keep you out of trouble, you're entirely wrong. Once you set foot here, all your actions must comply with Maori customs, especially when it comes to dining. From hangi, the traditional Maori method of cooking food in an earth oven, to beachside picnics, sharing food is a way New Zealanders bond with each other. When sitting down to eat, instinctively you might want to dig in right away. However, when in New Zealand, you should refrain from doing so until the food has been blessed or a karakia prayer has been said. Additionally, New Zealanders believe that tables are meant solely for holding food, so you should avoid sitting or placing bags on the table as it's considered disrespectful. I know it all sounds quite intricate, but happily learn and abide by it to avoid bigger troubles. Number 7. No tipping. While tipping waitstaff at cafes, restaurants, or shops is common practice in most countries, New Zealand is an exception. This practice is not common and even considered impolite in some cases. This is because staff are paid wages with the expectation that they won't receive any tips from customers, as tipping is a habit that New Zealanders typically try to avoid when starting out in New Zealand. This reflects one of the core values of New Zealand society regarding fairness and respect for everyone's work. However, if there's a desire to express special appreciation for good service, people often choose alternative ways such as leaving compliments or returning to the store or cafe next time. Number 6. No bragging the treasure. Oh, you may be very wealthy and successful, but if you come to New Zealand, please don't talk about the wealth you possess. It's actually quite foolish in the eyes of the locals here. Following the New Zealand culture, constantly interrupting conversations or monopolizing them to boast about your achievements is considered impolite. Listening to and respecting others' opinions is also an important part of effective communication in New Zealand culture. This is often considered more important than self-praise or appearing proud. So be mindful of this when engaging in conversations, especially if the topic leads to a potential opportunity for you to boast about an achievement. While you may not intend to brag, it could come across differently, so be careful. Number 5. No criticizing rugby. You may not have a fondness for contact sports with a bit of violence, but regardless, don't open your mouth to criticize rugby while standing on New Zealand soil. Rugby is one of the biggest sports in New Zealand. Seen not just as a game, it's become a cornerstone of the nation's sports and has a significant influence on New Zealand's life and culture. I want to emphasize that whether you're a rugby fan or not, be cautious in your choice of words when talking about this sport or comparing it to others, as it can upset passionate New Zealand rugby fans. The national rugby team of New Zealand is called the All Blacks, winning the Rugby World Cup the most times with 3 titles in 1987, 2011 and 2015. The All Blacks also consistently rank first in the world rankings. Currently, New Zealand is also ranked number 1 in the world rugby rankings, and clearly they deserve those praises. Number 4. Kiwi is not a fruit. Kiwi is a type of fruit originating from New Zealand, but in this country, when you mention kiwi, people will immediately think of an incredibly cute creature rather than the fruit that comes from their land. This creature is none other than the extremely rare and precious kiwi bird. Kiwi is not only a distinctive bird of New Zealand, but also the national symbol of this country. The image of the kiwi is often used in various contexts, from national emblems to decorations and tourist products. The kiwi bird cannot fly, with a size similar to that of a chicken, standing about 51 centimeters tall and weighing up to 1 kilograms. Females are larger than males. Kiwi birds have unique gray-brown feathers, with whiskers around their beaks acting as tactile organs. Unlike other bird species, the kiwi has a long beak with its nostrils at the tip. It uses this beak to dig into the ground and find food. Kiwis have a keen sense of smell but very poor eyesight. At night, their vision extends only 1.8 meters, and during the day, it's less than 1 meter. With limited vision, peculiar appearance, and boundless curiosity, it's no surprise that this bird is consistently on the list of the most endangered species. The government is still striving to protect them, but if you come to New Zealand, try to find a way to take pictures with them, as it's very likely that in a few years, we won't be able to see these creatures anymore. Number 3. 3 official languages. Usually, each country selects one language as its official language, but New Zealand chooses up to 3 languages to represent their nation. The 3 main languages are English, Māori, and New Zealand Sign Language. Nowadays, the officially recognized language of New Zealand is English, or English is essentially the language of New Zealand. Because almost all the people here use English to communicate, making English more prevalent. English is used anywhere in this country, being the most common language used in New Zealand. However, in the past, the official language of this country was Māori. However, this language has struggled to survive against English because it is used less and less. To maintain and preserve the traditional language, the New Zealand government continually encourages people to use the Māori language by incorporating it into media and schools. Some place names and locations in New Zealand, such as Onehunga or Nguru, still use the Māori language. It's estimated that around 130,000 New Zealanders still use Māori every day. Meanwhile, New Zealand Sign Language is the language of the deaf community in New Zealand, widely used in the deaf community and by many hearing people. Number 2. Sheep everywhere. In New Zealand, whether in the plains or on the foothills, you'll see images of men leisurely riding horses herding flocks of sheep back to the farm. It's described that you have to take a plane to fully see the beauty and strange allure of this land of sheep. Currently, there are over 46 million sheep estimated to be in sheep farms in New Zealand. Each flock has about 10,000 sheep, and the most popular breed is Romney because they are highly productive in reproduction, meat and wool. New Zealand thus produces up to 11% of the world's total wool output and is the world's largest producer of coarse wool. Because of the importance of sheep to this country, they have become involved in many daily activities such as appearing in songs, dances, cuisine, textiles, scientific research, and even as pets. New Zealanders believe that sheep are the cleanest, gentlest, and most approachable animals, so many people raise them as pets. When talking about sheep, people also immediately think of skilled sheep shearers, whom the locals often call Kiwi shearers, sharing the same name with the rare and precious Kiwi bird. Currently, there are about 2,000 Kiwi shearers working in various locations in New Zealand. With a 20 centimeters long sheep's fleece, they can shear it in one smooth stroke. If you happen to be here during sheep shearing season, you might experience it yourself. Who knows, you might be kept working for your dexterity. Number 1. Filming Paradise. The Lord of the Rings series, with its magnificent and breathtaking scenes in New Zealand, has greatly boosted the allure of tourism in this place. Impressive scenes at locations such as Hobbiton, Mount Doom, Fiordland National Park, and others have become an integral part of the movie-watching experience. The beautiful images of New Zealand have created a mesmerizing image of this country in the minds of many people around the world. Thanks to the fame of this series, tourism in New Zealand has become an attractive destination for those who want to explore the natural beauty and unique culture of this country. Visiting the famous locations in The Lord of the Rings has become an unmissable experience for fans of the series and travelers who want to enjoy the special beauty of New Zealand. And those are 15 prohibitions and peculiar things in New Zealand. If you like this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel to not miss any other videos about places and cultures around the world. Thank you for watching and wishing you wonderful experiences exploring New Zealand.